We've got Popeye the Sailor Man, a Betty Boop cartoon.
Just Popeye the Sailor, I think, is the title of the short, right?
Maybe.
But the song is Popeye the Sailor Man. So.
Yes. Popeye the Sailor with Betty Boop.
Yeah. I didn't realize that this is like... I guess Popeye has more screen time, but it's like... This is like a Betty Boop cartoon that like introduces a new character, kind of.
It does, yeah. It does seem like a lot of what has been happening is that Betty Boop is such a like standout star here that like everything has to be like Bimbo got wrapped up into Betty Boop, and so like she can just make a cameo in anything that they want to do that is not related to her.
This is like Betty Boop presents Popeye. Betty Boop no longer a poodle in this one.
Yes, a full human flapper. She appears for a second as a hula dancer, a tanned Betty Boop. I guess let's not get into the politics of that. That is a hula dancer in a short segment in this, but it is mostly about Popeye. And he arrives fully fleshed out as the Popeye we know. Like
exactly the classical. All the Popeye stuff is in this first short. Like Popeye immediately came onto the scene with all of his character traits fully formed, and then did not change ever.
Yes, he introduces himself with a like kind of cat style "This Is Who I Am" song.
There you go. Yeah,
I'm Popeye the Sailor Man, and then he kind of gives some details about what his deal is. He hates all palookas and what ain't on the up and square.
Don't we all?
The usage of palooka, and they say it a couple times in this one. They call people palookas, and I quite enjoy it.
Yeah, palooka. He likes eating spinach and punching objects into smaller versions of the same object. Like, picks up a big anchor, punches it into a bunch of small anchors. Picks up a big clock, punches it into a bunch of small clocks. Classic sailor activity.
That is what sailors do.
Yeah.
My understanding of the world is mostly informed by cartoons, but yes.
Yeah. It is funny that, like, Popeye... what I think of as Popeye's kind of whole deal is, like, eating spinach and fighting.
Right.
And, like, neither of those... Are those, like... Like, he's not... It has nothing to do with boats. Like he's not doing, like, sailor things.
That is true. I mean, like, I wonder if there is some kind of association between sailors and spinach, but I don't really know.
Maybe it's just, like, a can of spinach, so it's, like, the kind of spinach that you'd eat on a boat. You know, he's not eating fresh spinach.
Right.
He's not cooking spinach up in, like, into a nice salad. He's just eating it right from a can. I did think this has a lot of kind of classic Fleischer Brothers cartoon stuff, though.
Yeah, a lot of fun, like, really fun cartoon logic in this. Going across a rope bridge, and the rope bridge gets cut, and then he kind of it stays rigid as it falls down. It stays rigid on the left side as it falls down from the right side, and so you can run away on the rigid bridge.
Or then he to get across the ravine, he throws a rope across and just pulls the whole mountain so that the ravine closes.
That's maybe my favorite bit from this.
That was definitely my favorite bit because it got me. Like, I did not expect that to happen, and I definitely guffawed when it did.
It's some classic, like, cartoon logic, which they have a good amount of in here, where Popeye's strong and he, like, hits the bell and you hit the hammer on the ground and it makes the bell ring. Carnival game thing, and then flies out in the air and then hits the moon and bounces off the moon.
But then he punches Bluto, the villain, and his Adam's apple on his neck goes up and hits his head, and that makes the same bell sound, which is also a pretty good bit. And
we also have a tying olive oil to the train tracks type situation. Although it's Muscle Guy version where they wrap the train tracks around her.
Which we probably talked about this on the show before. I was trying to find like what is the first instance of like tying a woman to train tracks.
Well, it was vaudeville.
Yeah, but like I couldn't because of all of the like early 1910s shorts and things, and I think we watched a single one that had that in it.
I feel like we did, but I don't remember.
Yeah, like I think it's one of those things that people kind of associate with like old-timey silent movie stuff that it's like it's not really in there.
There is definitely a it's like a trope. It's a tropey thing of old movies. I believe Movie Silently has an article about that specifically.
Yeah.
If I find it, we can link it.
Yeah. I also thought so speaking of that carnival game with the hammer and hitting the bell, apparently the reward for that carnival game in Popeye universe is a box of cigars.
Right, and then they do a bit that is done in one of the other movies here, which is you're handed a box of cigars to take one, you take one out, and then hand the one back to them and take the entire box, which is done with cigarettes in a movie we'll talk about later.
Oh, I don't know if I even picked up on that.
Yeah, they did that in Gold Diggers of 1933.
Anything else to say about Popeye?
It's a cartoon. It's fun. Watch it.
There's some racist caricature stuff happening in this also, which is a bummer. But it's the 30s. Things were shittier back then.
Yeah, I mean, on that, and I think we've touched on this before, that like one of the things that was most astounding to me watching the early movies is how there was relatively few instances of outright racism, and stuff like D.W. Griffith really feels like an outlier at the time.
Well, then I think because of him, it became less of an outlier.
Maybe, yeah.
It feels like there's definitely been more like not even depictions of racism on screen, of just like movies that are like in their being racist, in their like depictions and their ideals, kind of
right,
since Birth of a Nation, which is also a bummer. But
I would say even especially in the late 20s, early 30s, like the kind of like racial caricature stuff sort of turned up a notch.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
On that note, let's talk about a different movie.
Yeah.